Is it actually true that you have generated $1 million in sales in one single day?
Yes, this is true. That was with my company, The Fifth Watches, and we operated on quite a different model to the usual companies. So we were exclusive based on time rather than on price. So basically what we did was we sold our watches for 5 days a month on the 5th of each month. So it was a time limited sales model. That FOMO was really useful in building it up, as well as, just basic principles in marketing psychology around scarcity and exclusivity and social proof. So it was really interesting because through, more scarcity and exclusivity, we were able to increase the demand of the product and its perceived value. Watches, especially like as a direct-to-consumer product, it's a very saturated market, and we were able to differentiate ourselves through our model rather than our product. And actually, over $232,000 of that $1 million day was generated in our first 1 minute of sales. They were able to do things like preload their cart. So what happened with the model was we redesigned the entire brand experience around that model. So that's the way that we kind of would gear up toward launches throughout the month. So for example, we'd replace call to actions on our website, like the add to cart call to action was replaced with a sign up call to action, and you could enter your email right below a product, almost like mentally buying it at the time. And so there was just this huge buyer intent from our entire wait list because of the way the entire brand was structured and the brand experience was structured. So it was just this big kind of mind play, but in a really kind of nice way, because we were able to build such authentic relationships with our community, because for 25 days a month we weren't doing what every other brand is doing every day, trying to push sales down your throat. Right. Basically, we could build this really authentic relationship with our customers for that 25 days, and then when it came to sales, it just was the logical choice to convert.
I have so many questions about that. But first of all, this is Gretta von Riel. It was absolutely amazing. I mean, how long have you built out that funnel before you actually launched? I mean, that's taken quite some risk. Obviously, it has worked out for you.
Yeah.
But it needs some investment in time and resources, right? To first do that.
Yeah, of course. I was a bit of a seasoned e-commerce entrepreneur already. It wasn't exactly, this is not a product and not a model that I would suggest for maybe a first timer. Yeah. It was quite an advanced kind of strategy, and it took a lot of audience building, basically. Yeah. Our main thing was building a really engaged audience before we launched. And this is this concept that I talk about that I call market product fit rather than product market fit, because the market should almost come before the product. And then you're able to kind of develop and match that product to that market. So
how would I do that?
So with Instagram, there was the 3 C's of Instagram. There's content, there's collaboration, and there's consistency. In terms of content, it's posting valuable content that your audience wants to see. And I say that, and of course that sounds like a really, really obvious thing to say, but at the same time, a really good way that you can actually identify the types of content that your audience wants to see through what I call creating content pillars and then weighting your pillars accordingly to that. Then collaboration, it was more so collaborating obviously with key influencers in the industry, and there's also mutually beneficial relationships as well. So whether that is a brand partnership where you collaborate to do a giveaway together, or it could be in terms of mutually shouting each other out. So on Instagram, so you can kind of trade reach in that way. Right. So in terms of consistency, the main thing that you want to focus on here is not just being consistent because you're told that that's what you're meant to do. It works on that level in terms of memorability and top of mind or front of mind kind of positioning with your audience to be kind of everywhere, so that they are always seeing you, and there's kind of that omnipresent kind of effect. But also on Instagram, you're penalized. Your account is actually penalized if you don't post frequently enough. Frequency is one of the main factors that identify how much organic reach you're getting.
So, absolutely stunning. I've learned so much already. How would you actually combine, or do you combine all that organic traffic that you're generating with paid social if you do?
So you'll find that when you do start to run paid campaigns to these kind of more organically built, warmed up audiences, they're just going to convert so much better than trying to just convert cold traffic and then wondering why, either you have kind of bad churn or whether you don't have a great rebuy rate. So building that brand, building that goodwill through more organic marketing and supplementing that with your paid. Of course you have to do paid at the same time. They're
Right.
just different channels. And what I'm like, I guess here and at this conference and here in general to speak more about is what I know best, which is the more organic side of the marketing. But that is not to say at all that we don't run paid campaigns as well.
If somebody's just starting out with influencer marketing, no matter if he's a newbie in general or just starting out in that area, help them out. How would somebody start with influencer marketing?
Yeah, well, I think the most crucial part of influencer marketing is obviously finding the right influencers to collaborate with. So
Right.
in terms of the right fit for your brand. And I think that one mistake that brands make here is over prioritizing reach in that equation. So I like to think of it again, I like my 3-letter acronyms. There's
Yeah,
3
I realize.
R's here, and there's reach, there's relevancy, and there's relationships. So reach is in terms of the influencer's following, maybe even their engagement and the reach that a particular post is going to get. And then relevancy is the niche of the influencer, which
Right.
is just really important to make sure that they're the right fit in terms of brand alignment with you as well. And relevancy can take into account their content style as well. So you want to pick influencers that have quite a similar content style to your brand, because if you think of your influencer marketing campaign like a funnel in a way, the influencer posts, then that lead or that person bounces across to your brand's profile. And then the last one is relationships, which is just the most important thing in the whole of influencer marketing. So here I'm talking about the relationship that an influencer has with their audience, but at the same time, the relationship that you're able to build with your influencers is crucial to that as well. So
Alright,
if the
so
influencer
not just
often,
pure engagement, but
yeah,
real,
not
like,
just getting
okay,
on there,
yeah.
posting, leaving and going away.
Right.
You have to engage to see engagement as an influencer.
Yeah.
So getting on, answering, some of their audience's questions, hosting lives, doing Q&As, doing meetups, things like that really build that audience relationship and that emotional connection with the influencer, because at the end of the day, that is what converts best in influencer marketing. It's a form of emotional marketing,
Right.
because you have that tie. You already like this person, therefore you trust them, they have more credibility, and this trust is able to kind of unlock and scale brand equity at unprecedented rates. So
Right.
it's pretty
Right.
exciting.
Right. Well, actually, building on that, so when you attract an influencer, win her or him to actually post for you and share with his following, how do you actually have that rolled out? I assume you don't just ask an influencer to push something out and hashtag add it.
I think that each campaign strategy needs to be really specific to your goals. So you
Right.
need to, the first step in influencer marketing is, and any good marketing, is identifying the goal of what you want to get out of that campaign. So that
Yeah.
goal might be something like increasing brand awareness. The goal might be driving social followers. The goal might be just generating content at scale for your brand, or your goal might be driving sales. So once you're able to do that, you can kind of reverse engineer or work backward from these goals to shape the types of campaigns that you're going to collaborate with an influencer on.
Perfect. I would have so many more questions about that, but we've got to cut it here. Thank you so much. It was Gretta
Thank you
von
so
Riel.
much for having me.